everyone, and welcome back to Grassroots de Grand Prix. Today I'm really lucky to be joined by Lucy Curtis, who is making her full-time debut in the Moto4 British Talent Cup this year with Fibre Tec Honda. Lucy, how are you? Thank you for joining me. How has the testing been today?
It's been good. It got quite windy at the end of the day, to be fair. It was really blowing us down the straight. We're changing a couple of things on the bike just with the gear selector and that, to hopefully make us feel a bit more comfortable. But yeah, it's been good. The team's been really supportive.
Lovely. I've spoken to a few of the riders about the wind. How has it affected you and your running today?
It was hitting you down craters, which is always the scariest part of the track to hit you, and then coming into the chicane, which is a bit scary when you're flying over the curbs. But it wasn't bad in the morning. It just picked up in the last session.
Yeah, it was really severe as the afternoon went on, wasn't it? Awful conditions. Hopefully tomorrow it'll be a little bit better for you. Well, you've had some journey to get to where you are now, done different things, moved to different places, which we'll touch upon a little bit later. Can you just talk about how you initially got into racing and then speak about your journey into getting this seat in Moto4?
So my dad used to race, and I was literally grew up in the Scottish paddock with my dad winning all the championships and the No Limits championships and everything. Which I actually just found that out the other day, but I didn't know that. I knew he won all the Scottish ones. So I've always been around bikes, and then my little brother started and we went along to Fibre Racing, and I thought, well, I'm coming along, so I may as well just start anyway. And then I did a couple of seasons in Fibre. I started quite late, to be fair. I started when I was 11, which is very late considering some people start at 5. And then I did American 50s, American 70s, GP 125, the old Red Bull rookie selection bikes. And then we went up to Scotland and got my SATB licence and got my national licence quite quick, to be fair. They were really good. And then we entered for a wild card at the end of the 2025 season on one of my friend's bikes, because unfortunately I had a bad accident at Assen. And Mlav seen that I was entered and I had my national licence. So a couple of words are said and I managed to get in with them, and it didn't even feel real when my dad we're having dinner and my dad was like, "You've just been offered a ride with Mlav." I was like, "What?" But yeah, and then this season I've decided to join them again and I'm racing with them this year. But I want to try and do 2 years, but we just need sponsors, so
Come on, guys. I think it's a hint from Lucy. People might be able to hear from your accent. You said you raced up in the Scottish Championships. You know, you've come second in quite a few of them as well, been quite successful up there. But you aren't Scottish yourself. So what was it that took you up there to ride in the Highlands?
Well, we went over to Spain and borrowed a 125 from Rob Keys, and we came back and we were going to try and ride in NG. But the ACU rules was you had to be 13 with a national licence. So my dad was emailing them backwards and forwards and trying to get it lowered, and eventually did, but it was 1 week before the test up in Scotland. So we just said, oh, we'll just go up there anyway. We're entered for that, so we just did that instead.
But now it's been lowered for future applicants to do it.
And now they've got a class NG, so you can ride a Moto 4 restricted to 30 brake in the 125s, which is 30 brake anyway, so it's a pretty good class.
Yeah, it's pretty good actually, really good. Would have been good for you if you had the chance to do it.
Just a bit late,
but hey, you've had a different journey and you're where you are now. Like you said, when your dad told you that you were going to be with the Mlav team, obviously Michael Laverty is quite a big name in the bike paddock. Can you just talk me through what your initial thoughts were? Was it just overwhelmed? Was it excitement? Is it a bit of nerves? How are you feeling heading into this season?
It didn't feel real at first because I thought we just got offered it, and it wasn't a full placement, because this was on the Sunday night and we had to leave on the Wednesday the week after, and I'd never even rode the bike before, and we were we're not sure if it's going to go through, so don't get your hopes up. So at first I wasn't trying to make myself that excited in case I couldn't get it. But we went down to Teesside on the Tuesday, tried to do some practice starts. That did not work. But I got a knowledge of the bike because I've never really rode a 4-stroke before. And then the excitement started hit when we were driving down, and I was like, oh, I'm a bit nervous now. But it was good, yeah.
Lovely. Well, we've spoken about your racing career so far. You are kind of the middle age of the BTC riders this year. So you might have different interests to others. What do you do to keep yourself occupied outside of racing? What do you have time for? Because you're very busy, obviously training, getting practice, and then you're away for, 4 or 5 days at a time when it is race weekend. So what do you have time for outside of riding a bike very fast?
It's quite hard to balance like schoolwork with exams coming up in the racing, but I quite enjoy netball. I'm a really good goal shooter. Yeah, I like netball in my free time. At my old school I used to play hockey, but I stuck with netball, and I'm quite good, to be fair, if I do say so myself.
You did wildcard back at Alton, under unfortunate circumstances, but good experience for you. So perhaps compared to a few of the other rookies, it's a bit of a grey area. Do we class you as a rookie? Do we not? I'm going to class you as it for the sake of, you haven't had a whole season yet in Talent Cup, but you've got knowledge of one of the tracks in particular, obviously up in Cheshire at Alton Park. Do you have any ambitions for this year? What have you set for yourself, and what have the team set in terms of what you hope to achieve this season?
We're quite open, really. It was based off what happens here, so I can give myself an idea of where I want to be. I've got different people in my mind who I want to try and be with or beat, but everyone does, and I don't know. We really want to get points, but it's a big class this year, and there's loads of new people coming in who's flying, like Tyler Humphreys. He got like third. So we're not putting too much pressure on us at the minute. We just want to see where it goes, and we'll work from there.
That's probably the best way to be, though, is you've got to be realistic with it, haven't you? But also, you don't want to put yourself down, because you're here for a reason. But like you say, very big class this year. There's so many of you I'm struggling to count, and a lot of rookies as well. But so is points the ultimate aim? Yeah,
I really want to try and get in the top 10, but we're just little by little we'll get there.
You'll chip away.
Yeah.
We'll get there. We will. What are your aims for the future then? I know it's probably a bit of a rogue question to be asked, because you are only just taking this next step in your career, because the jump now to Moto4 is obviously going to be quite big, and it'll be a big learning year for you and the other rookies on the grid too, and even ones that have been here a long time, like your teammate Ryan. What do you hope to achieve in the future? If I could wave a magic wand, put you 10 years in the future, what do you hope to be doing?
Well, hopefully not in 10 years, but in a couple of years' time I'm hoping to get the Women's Worlds. We might, after this year, we might start practicing on an R7 and go around a few different tracks and that, and just see if I can get on a team. Because we were training in Spain with a few of the world riders, and I didn't do too bad, to be fair, so I thought, I want to do this, and I've seen Chloe Jones go into it, and she's done quite well, and I'm like, that's where I want to be. So
lovely. Do you hope to progress any further than that? Do you want to be the first women rider in, I don't know, one of the bigger classes, obviously feeding potentially into MotoGP? Would that be the ultimate dream if I could give you anything?
Well, that's every rider's dream, but you never know. It's in a good few years' time, because you've got to be 18 going to it. They might bring out new championships and like different levels, so that's the aim at the minute. But once we get there, we can like work up, and I might want to go into the like overall worlds, but that's the goal at the minute.
Lovely. Well, it's been lovely speaking to you about you and your career. The final question I want to ask you, we ask every single rider this, because you all give such different advice, but it's really invaluable to the younger riders coming through different championships. There's so many different pathways now, but sometimes there's a bit of a disconnect between, something like Fibre Racing or mini bikes and into like metric kits and things like that. And you've had a very different route to anyone else I've spoken to, obviously, with you going up to Scotland and doing those instead, and then coming to the Moto4. So my final question to you is, what advice would you give someone who was in your position maybe 5 years ago, wanting to pursue professional bike racing, maybe even a woman or a little girl wanting to do it now? What would you say to her, or say to yourself back then, as a piece of advice you can give them?
Just give it a go. Don't put yourself down if you're not at the front. I went through all the years at the mini bike championships thinking, no, I'm never going to get anywhere. And then I've hopped on the big bikes and I'm like, I'm actually doing quite well now. But just keep going. Like, it's so hard being a female in racing sometimes, because everyone's like, oh, well, you're a girl, you're going to be at the back. And that's not always the case. Just keep going. The amount of times I've wanted to quit and I haven't, and I'm so glad I haven't. Yeah, you just got to have some strength and keep going.
Lovely. Well, Lucy, it's been my pleasure to get to speak to you today ahead of a really exciting year for you. Good luck and all the best for the season.
Thank you.